Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'll be reviewing the Girard Perregaux Laureato Chronograph 42mm in stainless steel with a blue dial, reference 81020-11-431-11A. I'll tell you a bit about the case bezel dial bracelet movement and finally try it on and give you my thoughts. But let's start briefly with a short history. The Laureato is Girard Perregaux's sports collection line, and as every major Swiss watch brand has, they have a sports collection, and Girard is no exception to that. Now, you might be looking at this and thinking, well, it kind of looks like the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, and I have to agree with you. It very much does. In fact, the Girard Perregaux doesn't get enough credit. In 1972, the Royal Oak was created, so that was the first. But in 1975, not long after, which is only, 3 years after, it was the Girard Perregaux brand created the Laureato, and it was not made by Gerald Genta. It was made by or created by Adolfo Natalini. I'm sure pronouncing that wrong, but anyways, the point is that it looks very similar, and that was kind of the style back then, to make this sort of angular watch and have this integrated style bracelet. In fact, the Laureato came about even before the Nautilus, which came out in 1976. So just during that time, this was the style, this was the look, and the result is what you see. Very cool. And of the Laureato line, there's a lot of variations to it. They have open work ones, which are actually amazing, gold ones, different color dials. So they really expanded very well on the Laureato line, and it's probably, I would say, at least in my opinion, their most coveted collection. They make a lot of cool watches, but the Laureato is definitely up there, and it looks, as I said, very similar to the Royal Oak or the Nautilus, without actually copying them. And it's not like they did, because they came around in 1975, which was actually even before the Nautilus. So how could they copy the Nautilus? In fact, maybe the Nautilus even copied them, because if you look at the center links on the Girard Laureato, they look kind of like the Nautilus, or I should say the Nautilus just kind of looks like the Laureato. So, but it doesn't really matter who copied who. You're allowed to copy each other. So let's just move on from there. Okay, let's start here with a little bit with the case. And let's delve into it a little bit. It's a 42mm case. Now, for those who know, 40 to 44mm is really the sweet spot, and 42, I would say, definitely is the best, because it's right in the middle. You don't want the head to be too gigantic. You don't want it to be too small. So 42mm is right around the right size for it. The Daytona, for example, is 40mm, and the Royal Oak is 41mm. The Royal Oak is 43mm. The offshore, is 43mm. So 42 is right in line. It's a nice, not big, but a size with some presence, but it's not too big, not overly big. And the case is really nice here. It has the same features as the Nautilus and the Royal Oak, in that it has a nice, beautiful beveled edge, very wide lugs that integrate a bracelet, and it makes the watch look, how could I say, very Art Deco 1970s, look. And if you look at the rest of the detail on the case, you'll notice that it has a lot of angular parts to it, which I think are pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. Oh, let's take a look at the thickness here. Now, it's no surprise they did the thickness very well as well. It's 12mm. Not much different from the chronographs from Audemars Piguet, but in terms of price, they're very different, okay? The thickness on Audemars Piguet is about 12mm. So in terms of specs, they really covered it. And as I said, it looks quite similar to the Audemars Piguet. And if you think about it, this watch is retailing for around 18,000 and change as of 25, but we're selling it for way less than that in the teens. So and if you compare that to Audemars Piguet, for example, their chronograph starts, I think, around like 40K or something, almost double, actually more than double. And then they resell in the market for 50 something. So you get a very similar looking watch at more than half the price, even less than half the price. So, like a third of the price. And it still looks pretty cool. Yeah. And it's from a major brand. Not as major as AP, but still. It's still a major brand. Okay. Okay, let's move on from the case here. Let's look at the bezel. Now, the bezel is pretty cool. How many sides do I see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So it's actually the same. It's an octagon, just like the Royal Oak. But they do it in their own way. It has a octagonal bezel, but as you see, it doesn't have those exposed screws. Some people actually might like that better. It has a nice satin finish on top, again, with a nice beveled edge on the bezel, which makes it look that, to make this beveled edge, it's just a sign of high quality, to round off to bevel the edges like this to ensure that the watch, looks and feels as luxurious as the price would, as you would think by looking at the price. Okay, so the bezel, yeah, very distinctive as well. Okay, and it sort of matches the rest of the case in being very, very angular. Let's look at the dial here. The dial is a nice blue. It's a standard blue. They make another version of this blue with black accents, and they even make an ice blue, but this is your standard blue. And they call this blue with Klaus de Paris pattern. So, for example, on the Royal Oak, they have this grand tapisserie pattern. Girard Perregaux does their own version of the grand tapisserie pattern, this little pattern in the dial. I guess that was pretty cool back in the 70s. It's still pretty cool now. It takes a lot of work though, but they call it the Klaus de Paris pattern as opposed to the grand tapisserie. But to me, it looks, more or less, they got, Girard has their design, AP has their design. Okay, so, and of course, the chronograph, you have the counters here, and here you have the date at the 4 o'clock. Not terribly different or distinct from AP. It says GP at the top. So AP says AP at the top, GP says GP. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, anyways, so quite a nice dial, quite a nice color. And as I said, you could get the color in many different variations if you like. All right, let's move on to the strap here. The strap, I want to say, is also very distinctive. And as I said, it came out before the Nautilus. So, in fact, it kind of looks like the Nautilus copied Girard, or at least took some cues from them, and I like that it's a totally different bracelet than you would see anywhere else. It's an integrated bracelet, meaning that this bracelet's not going to attach to any other watch. It can only work on this watch because of the way that it connects. It's not like a simple spring bar deal. Let me just point out that on the side where the beveled edge comes down from the case, it extends down the length of the bracelet, really making this watch look like an integrated bracelet, which it is. And other brands have copied that, as I said, the Nautilus and the Overseas. Or if you even look most recently at the Rolex Land Dweller, I believe has taken a page out of all these brands and created their own integrated bracelet. So yeah, and I think IWC also does one, the Ingenieur or something. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there that do this. Okay, the bracelet is really nice. It's smooth as you would expect, and a very nice buckle. Yeah, and by the way, I would say that if it doesn't fit perfectly, because the center links are getting smaller as you get toward the buckle, if it doesn't fit perfectly, they actually sell like a 1.5 link, and then so that the watch can have a perfect fit. Because I've had a few of these before, come through the store, and we're trying to get the right fit for the customer, and then we realize it doesn't fit because of the links, so we order a 1.5 link, just an intermediary size link to get it just the right size, because you can't do any changing once you sized it unless you have tools. Okay, anyways, that's that part. So let's move on here and look at the movement. Well, the movement here, they've covered it up so you can't see it. On some of the other ones you can see it, okay? But here, I'm not sure why they covered it, because actually it looks quite beautiful, at least on their website. You can see the caliber. It's a caliber GP03300, and it's automatic movement. Has a nice rotor to it. Maybe they didn't do the rotor in gold. Maybe that's why they didn't want to show it, but who knows. Either way, you still get to look at a nice case back. I suspect that over some time, they may adjust the movement so that, and update the model a bit so that you can have an open case back. But of course, they're going to charge more money for that. Anyways, it's self-winding, as I told you. It has 419 parts, which is actually a lot of parts for a chronograph. Usually they're in like the 300 range, but still, okay. It has a power reserve of 46 hours. So, yeah, nice movement, nice watch, great price. And we're selling it in the low teens or mid-teens, something like that. But anyways, nice watch for the price, okay? And from a top brand. Okay, now time to try this watch on my wrist. Now I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I have a 7.5 inch wrist. And as you see, this 42 millimeter looks really nice on me. And my thoughts are that, look, if you want to get a steel integrated chronograph or even steel sports watch with an integrated bracelet and you don't want to pay mega bucks, then definitely Girard is a way to go, because not only does it look the part, it's not as expensive, and it's also a brand that not a lot of people are going to recognize. So you don't have something that's like in your face. Royal Oak or Nautilus is totally obvious what it is, but a Girard Laureato especially, not a lot of people are going to know it. So it flies a little bit under the radar, but still being very cool. So for that, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. So buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.